The light at the end of the tunnel is finally beginning to reveal itself as Bitcoin puts in or is constructing several signals in the background here, all coming in what seems to be at about the same time as well. So I want to continue on with this thread of analysis that we've been having for Bitcoin during this very boring, I would say, last 2.5 weeks. Basically, since we came to America, it's been boring as all hell, which is of course good for me. But the market needs something new, and I do think that a few new things are starting to emerge as of right now. So first and foremost, I do want to point out that the weekly time frame is going to have a chance to put in one massive girthy green dildo, and also it is going to be an engulfing dildo as well, assuming that Bitcoin can close above last week's high, which was 98,852 and 3 cents, by the way, on the index. Of course, weekly closure comes in on Sunday for spot price action, but Bitcoin trading a little bit above there right now. And if Bitcoin does close above last week's high, that would be the next sort of, big signal I'd be looking for to suggest that Bitcoin is indeed putting in the next very important higher low right here. And if that is going to be a higher low upon confirmation, then that would also confirm at the exact same time weekly hidden bullish divergence, as you do see that the weekly RSI is making lower lows alongside higher lows on price action. So there is a divergence in momentum, and this is within the context of very, very low BBWP representing volatility. So this consolidation is coming into an end very likely, I think before the end of this month, like probably around the end of this month, to be fair. It's going to hang around exactly until, the 28th or however many days are in February, because I know it's that weird month that has weird days, but doesn't matter. If Bitcoin does close above last week's high, I look at that as a damn good signal alongside that hidden bullish divergence and low volatility read that Bitcoin one, has the next move to the upside, and two, we're going to resolve this consolidation, or Bitcoin's going to resolve this consolidation relatively soon. On top of that, the 5-day and the weekly time frame are closing for CME today, and as we pointed out yesterday, the 5-day will reclaim the median for the first time in a while, the first time this month actually. If Bitcoin can close today on CME above 97,235, which it is about 2,000 or a little bit more than 2,000 bucks above as of right now. Of course, that one closes in 7 hours, 45 minutes, and 8 seconds and counting, but one thing before the next. And of course, if that condition is met right there, I would look at this condition over here that we overlaid with the bullish engulfing, and the hidden bullish divergence is very likely to play out in that direction. And then of course, this all comes in combination with the signal that we've been referencing many times over these past couple weeks since the capitulation signal happened on the hash ribbons indicator. And that is the projected blue buy signal, which is now coming down, or the projection for when that when that buy signal happens is literally less than a day. It's actually 0.2 of a day is what it would officially be at right now. So it's very possible that we actually see this on tomorrow's video confirmed as a nice massive blue dot. Again, I won't go through the full explanation of the hash ribbons indicator. I'll leave that for past videos, and maybe we'll do one again in the next week, because I just think it bores a lot of the regular viewers here. But yeah, if and when that does happen, that to me is an extremely high probability signal that Bitcoin is extremely unlikely to close below the last trending higher low. And the last trending higher low is from Sunday, the 12th of January, on this move just slightly below about 90,000 bucks. So Bitcoin could, I guess, theoretically come back down close to there, as we have seen in the past, but ultimately I'd be looking at anything, around there as an opportunity, or, it doesn't even necessarily need to test down around there, but just that gives a nice, very obvious area of risk management that I'd be happy to be bullish as long as Bitcoin is closing above there. I don't actually have my studies on this, my spreadsheets on this chart right here. But if I do recall correctly, 85% of the time, once that blue buy signal has hit the last trending higher low, was the low never to be retested ever again. Or I shouldn't say retested. I mean, they can get retested, but never closed below ever again. So that is, at least in my opinion, very useful. Perhaps you agree as well. Perhaps you should consider liking and subscribing, as that can get you more updates on this massive blue buy signal coming up. the blue dot, Anyways, let's move on from there and get into some of the more nitty gritty. Just following up on yesterday's momentum pivots. Bitcoin did obviously close above all of them. So again, we're seeing the daily, the 2-day, the 3-day time frame all turn up. Daily time frame obviously is going to be now pointed up as long as Bitcoin's above 96,300 upon today's closure. The 2-day time frame also pointed up as long as Bitcoin's above 95,650. In the 3-day time frame, which confirmed last night, I do believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, it did. Is going to be remaining with upside momentum as long as Bitcoin's above 97,500. So again, we're seeing momentum also just from different perspective. We're seeing potentially a massive bullish engulfing dildo over here. We're seeing potentially the blue dot, and then of course the HPDR, all reclaiming some pretty important regions. And I do start to look at this as like, an overload almost. Again, assuming that all of these get confirmed, but it is looking quite likely right now. Of course, we'll know for sure. I would hope by tomorrow, but I suppose we'll see on that. Again, for me, and just relating how I think about this, I will actually not be looking for long-term long positions until at minimum this hash ribbons indicator signal fires off over here. All the other stuff in the background is great, but that's the one that makes me very, very interested, because technically until that buy signal happens, there is a real threat of of a move lower. It's just I kind of look at the other signals as suggestive that it's probably not going to happen, and we're probably going to see the upside emerge from this one. And at the very least, you probably see Bitcoin test around, very likely above $100,000 again. But I'd suspect going off of the 5-day spot HPDR, we're going to get a test somewhere around the median that will come down upon the next closure, and that could be anywhere between like 102 to 104, I would say. Again, that'd put Bitcoin in a position of power and fulfill the condition that February is likely to close green, although perhaps not by much in this case. But we'll see. Anyways, there's one last thing that I'll leave you with here, because I do think that I do think it's worthwhile to follow up on this. We were looking at the Tether dominance chart as well, which plays inversely of Bitcoin and most cryptos, but especially Bitcoin. As likely to put in a local high around this 460-ish region right here. That has been happening over the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, about a little over a month, I guess. This obviously has taken time, but I am still looking at this as extremely likely to form a local high. And even if you're super bullish on this chart, which would obviously be bearish for Bitcoin, you're still extremely likely to see a move down around these prior lows here. Of course, if it is going to be ending up bullish, then we'd be expecting, a slightly higher low, and then it bounces heavily off that. But either which way, that would imply downside in the short/medium term. As soon as this one actually does break down, but probably still takes another 5 to 10 days, I'd guess. But that will be a massive tailwind again for Bitcoin, alongside all the other things that we spoke about as well: Dixie, traditional markets, et cetera, the first crypto president as well. apparently that really gets people riled up, by the way. But I have no comment on that. What I do have a comment on is all of these things coalescing in the background. We've seen we've been following up on all these emergent signals. Now a lot of them are really starting to come to fruition here. But again, this is the big one here. If the blue dot happens, tomorrow, then I will certainly update on that. Or I'll update on it anyways, because I do believe that it is of interest for many people. But hopefully within the next day or two, I'd say at most, this one does fire off. So anyways, that's where I'll be leaving today's video. As always, I want to wish everyone the best of the best. Keep an eye on that weekly engulfing, and then keep an eye on that buy signal right there, as those will be the preconditions to the potential continuation of this massive bull run. Anyways, signing off on that note, as always, wishing you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.